He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
This podcast was made with funding from the Public Interest Journalism Fund.
Kia ora. Welcome to In Case You Missed It. Ko tāne tōku ingoa. New Zealander Liam Lawson made his Formula 1 debut this week, getting a late call-up for AlphaTauri after his teammate broke his hand. The 21-year-old from Pukekohe who started go-karting is just the 10th Kiwi to race in Formula 1.
I was honestly all last night going through driver manuals, just making sure I was fully ready to operate the car.
He only got one free practice session and had to battle with a slippery track, but did enough to get the call-up again for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza this weekend. Good luck, bro. Now, do you like hitting the snow? Well, Mount Ruapehu's ski fields are having a bumper snow season with the world's deepest snow base of just over 2.5 meters.
We'll claim it. We'll keep casually rolling that out for a while yet. You know, we've got a long season still to come. It runs all the way through to Labour weekend, so we're not yet halfway.
It's welcome news for the area, with the ski field having to be bailed out by the government a couple of months ago to ensure it could even open this year. Some rather gross, creepy, crawly news from Australia as a woman visiting her local hospital experiencing fever, diarrhea and a dry cough was found to have a live and wriggling 8-centimetre parasite in her brain. Yes, that's right, a real live brain worm.
I took my tweezers or my tumour holding forceps and I pulled it out and I thought, gosh, what is that? It's moving.
Researchers who identified the parasite believe the woman became infected when she collected and cooked a type of native grass called warrigal greens after she found it beside a lake near her home. The greens were likely laced with the parasite shed by a python. Apart from the nightmares, there doesn't seem to be any ongoing health issues. However, she is being closely monitored by health professionals, just in case. Hurricane Idalia hit Florida as a Category 3 storm this week, unleashing devastation along the Gulf Coast, submerging homes and vehicles, turning streets into rivers, unmooring small boats, and downing power lines before sweeping into Georgia. Natural disasters happen all over the world. Organisations do their best to alert us with a national state of emergency.
What is a state of national emergency? Well, Aotearoa has its fair share of natural hazards. Earthquakes, floods, landslides, tsunami and volcanic activity.
For extreme emergencies where local emergency services are not able to cope, the Minister for Emergency Management can declare a state of national emergency.
Cyclone Gabrielle has had major impacts across most of the North Island. This is a significant disaster with a real threat to the lives of New Zealanders. Accordingly, on the advice of NEMA, I have this morning at 8:43am declared a national state of emergency.
This puts the Director of Civil Defence Emergency Management in control of the entire country, and they direct the National Emergency Management Agency to organise the response. The National Emergency Management Agency brings all of the local emergency services together under one umbrella, including extra services such as the armed forces,
and allows them to provide rescue, first aid, food and shelter by taking control of and conserving essential supplies, regulating and diverting traffic, entering private premises to rescue people, closing off and evacuating public and private areas, as well as arresting anyone who doesn't comply.
Without a national emergency being called, none of that would be possible because most of these actions fall outside the regular laws of the country. A state of emergency can only last for 7 days. However, it can be extended an indefinite number of times, but only the responsible minister or the Prime Minister can make that call. So next time you hear that national state of emergency alert come through your mobile phone, read the message carefully, follow the directions, and most importantly, don't panic. Because it means that all your local emergency services will be springing into action to make sure that you and your whānau are safe.
Mystery surrounds the appearance of a stylized skull carved into the sandstone cliffs at Waipipi Beach in South Taranaki. The carving, which has taken shape over the past few weeks, is chiseled onto a finger of headland. It's about 2 meters high and 2 meters wide. The artist is still unknown and it's had a mixed response from the locals. I think it looks pretty cool. What do you reckon? Well, that's in case you missed it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back again next week. Have a great weekend. Hei kona.
This podcast was made with funding from the Public Interest Journalism Fund.